Well, on to this story. So, convicted murder accomplice turned state witness, Arauhang Ndai, has been facing tough questions from the lawyer against alleged insurance killer Mathabo Mutsiela in the Pretoria High Court. This is over the alleged plot she claims was made to kill a police commander. Mutsiela is accused of working with Ndai to murder a 20-year-old relative and then dating and bribing the investigating officer for him to not investigate the case properly. The state alleges that the three accused then plotted the murder of a police commander when he wouldn't drop charges. Ndai turned to state witness after pleading guilty and is now in the witness box, facing questions about the alleged plot. South African Police Service investigator Captain Keshi Mabunda joins us now to talk to us about the trends that we see with insurance fraud killings in the country. Captain, a good evening to you and thank you so much for joining us. I think that you have become somewhat of a household name in South Africa as we think about the work that you did in being able to bring Rosemary Ndlovu to book. You know, certainly you've been lauded for the work that you've done. But here we are again. The court's looking into the matter of one Mathabo Mutsiela from the Northwest Province, and I immediately thought to myself, are we seeing an uptick in insurance fraud, murders, and what do you think the reason is? Are these issues growing in the country, Captain?
Good evening, Naledi, and good evening to viewers at home, wherever they are. Yes, indeed, Naledi, this kind of cases are growing rapidly. There are provinces which are banning. Can talk of Eastern Cape, Gauteng, Kimberley. In fact, all over, these cases are growing at a rapid speed, and it needs a lot of dedicated police officers to root out this. But due to the corruption that is happening within our service, it seems as if we are losing this battle.
And here's where the corruption that you talk about becomes such a big issue, because it is believed that Mutsiela allegedly received 1.2 million rand in insurance for a murder that she is alleged to have committed, and then is alleged to have paid 30,000 rand to an officer, and then ended up in a romantic relationship with this officer. I mean, let's talk about how common it is for police then to start getting involved.
It is very common, Naledi. It's not only that police officer. I'm receiving a lot of complaints of cases like that, more especially from the insurance industry, whereby you can see that a police officer investigating a murder case or a murder for money case, and he will write maybe a note called SAP 21, instructing the security industry to pay that person as he has concluded investigation or she has concluded investigation. So it's worrying. Your duty is to investigate the case, to make sure that you bring the perpetrator to book. But on the other hand, you are like giving instruction to insurance industry that pay this person. Whereas those people from the industry, they could say that no, there's a foul play here. So I think this kind of thing, it has to be looked into and be dealt with. Most of these corrupt officials, they must be dealt with decisively.
And then at the same time, what you're hearing through the court is that a command then losing his life because he simply would not allegedly take the bribe to not look into the case. I mean, the reality is this is dangerous work even for the police.
No, I don't think the commander refused to take a bribe, but it's a different story in that aspect. I know that case that you're talking about. I was supposed to be brought in to do the investigation, but due to the workload, I couldn't manage to meet those investigators in person. But I did advise on that case as well. It was a Moinoy case.
Yeah.
There is no way that a person will be killed by not taking the bribe. there is something that happened there. It's either that particular person was involved and considered this thing is wrong, then they wanted to retreat. They said, no, because once you take a bribe and want to retreat, there's no way that they will leave you, those perpetrators. They'll make sure that they deal with you, taking your life. It's one of the yes.
Yeah, but you've dealt with so many of these cases, the sort of sensitivities that you've had to, keep top of mind as you continue these investigations. I mean, what are the things that you have, in and of your own work, been quite cautious of as you conduct these investigations, so that you have a clear path to getting to the bottom of them?
One thing, Nali, that you must do as an investigator, or what I'm doing to win this kind of cases, I become more close to the family or to the complainants, and be away with the people who are maybe the claimants or our suspect. Because the minute you bring closer those people, they will make sure that they bribe you. And by bribing you, then you'll stray away from the investigations, and that way you'll never win those cases. As I always say, that as police officers, we need to treat the cases like we're dealing with our own. That our own has been wronged, because the minute we take sides, that's where we're losing the battle.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it that, Captain Mabunda, you feel insurance companies can do to assist?
I would suggest that they hire experienced people or will be able to do investigation proper. Because what we see that people, even those people from the insurance companies, some are corrupt. Hey, they are the one going to say they are working with the syndicates outside. They just approve any payment. They could see that this person has been killed. There's a foul play here, but they said, no, let's pay this person. And from there, they share the proceedings. It happened. I know those people some of them in the industry, some are fired, some are in jail. So I think people have to be honest with themselves, because people are losing life. Innocent people, they're losing their lives due to this heinous crime.
Yeah. Captain Mabunda, before I let you go, I mean, there's obviously the concern of, as we started the conversation, you talked about these cases. We're seeing more and more of them. In fact, they're growing rapidly, is the word that you used. I mean, how do we see then a stop to the rise in insurance fraud murders that we're seeing in the country? Is the visibility of these cases also fueling them, in that those perpetrators are seeing these cases and then taking them as an example?
Yes, and one thing what I will suggest, Naledi, I think that our management has to establish a unit to deal with it particular case. We used to have murder and robbery. I think if you can have a unit whereby you get murder for money cases, I think there we can be able to cap this, to make sure that we deal with this case. People must be dedicated. There must be employed to do this kind of cases. Because if you find that you get a detective is having these assault cases, armed robberies, but now there's no way that we will be able to concentrate on their cases. So I think if possible, our management can establish a unit itself that deals with this kind of cases, because it deserves to have a unit, because it's alarming.
Yeah. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Captain Keshi Mabunda, always a pleasure chatting to you, and we appreciate you availing yourself. Captain Keshi Mabunda, the investigating officer who has had great success in nabbing insurance fraud murderers. One of those, of course, catching the attention of the country was Rosemary Ndlovu.